The voice you are about to hear belongs to one of these men.
Tell her for me, I'm tired of trying. Lover, you know you still do. Tell her for me, I'm through feeling. That's why you think of her.
What is your name, please?
My name is Adam Wade.
What is your name, please?
My name is Adam Wade.
What is your name, please?
My name is Adam Wade.
Two of these people are imposters. Only one is the real Adam Wade, and is the only one sworn to tell the truth. And now, returning from vacation, here is our host, Bud Collier.
Thank you very much. Thank you, and welcome once again to Tell the Truth, brought to you this week by Arid Cream Deodorant, America's largest selling deodorant. Don't be half safe, be completely safe. Use Arid Cream Deodorant to be sure. Before anything else, may I take just a moment to thank my good friend Robert Q. Lewis for sitting in for me so that I could go away for this wonderful vacation I just had. And now let's meet our panel. First, Miss Polly Bergen. Next, Mr. Don Ameche. Then substituting for vacationing Kitty Carlisle, a wonderful actress, a newcomer to our panel, but not to me. We're proud to welcome her, fine young star of television series Lassie right now, and enjoying it, I'll bet, Miss Joan Lockhart. And finally, Mr. Tom Poston. Joan, it's a real pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you, Bud. My delight to be here with you.
Good. All right, let's all follow along with this first copy of the affidavit, shall we, panel? I, Adam Wade, am currently headlining as a vocalist at a well-known New York East Side supper club. My first record, Tell Her For Me, recently hit the bestseller lists. Although my second record has just been released and I seem well on my way in a career as a singer, all my background and training pointed in an entirely different direction. I majored in science at Virginia State College, where I was also the captain of the basketball team. Soon after I left college, I went to work in a polio research laboratory at the University of Pittsburgh. My job involved the growth, reproduction, and distribution of healthy tissue cells. I worked under the direction of Dr. Jonas Salk, discoverer of the polio vaccine. Signed, Adam Wade. Well, you heard these three gentlemen all claiming to be Adam Wade, lab technician turned singer. Gentlemen, you all ready to play our game? Sure. Very well, let's start this first round then of questioning with Polly Bergen. Polly?
Thank you, Bud. Number one, who is your agent?
Lenny Gaines.
Lenny Gaines.
Yes.
And number two, who is your agent?
Lenny Gaines.
Number three, yours?
Lenny Gaines.
Number one, where is Coriopolis Heights?
I don't know.
Number two, where is Coriopolis Heights?
I believe it's outside of Pittsburgh.
I beg your pardon?
Coriopolis Heights?
Yes.
I believe it's outside of Pittsburgh.
Number three, do you know where Coriopolis Heights is?
That's correct. It's outside of Pittsburgh on the south side.
Number two, there's a city right across the river from Coriopolis Heights. Could you name that city for me?
I believe it's Sewickley.
Number one, it said here that you worked with Dr. Salk. Could you tell me, when did he discover the Salk vaccine?
It was officially announced in 55. Actually, he discovered it in 53.
I see. No.
Don Ameche.
Number two, how many bars in a standard song?
How many bars?
Yes.
I believe there are 32.
Number three?
I'm not a musician. I really don't know.
Number one, what is the release? Number two?
A release. I couldn't say for sure.
Number three, what is a zone defense in basketball?
A zone defense is primarily where the players they have a designated place to cover on the court.
Number two, is it permissible to have 2-on-1?
Yes.
Joan Lockhart.
Number two, what is the height of the tallest basketball player currently?
7'1.5", I believe.
Number three, who invented penicillin?
I don't know.
Number 1, who invented penicillin?
That I don't know.
Number 2, for what is the drug placebo used?
Placebo? I'm afraid I don't know.
Number 3, how many... all right, no, I passed to Tom. Thank you.
Thank you.
You get some extra
Good
time,
luck.
Tom. All right, Tom Poston.
Thank you. Number 3, what is goaltending?
Goaltending is usually charged to a man who is usually very tall, and he positions himself by the goal to block all shots, and he disregards all other phases of the game.
Thank you. Were you working with Dr. Salk when the announcement was made of the polio vaccine discovery?
No, I began working just after that.
Are you familiar with that year, 1955?
Well, that was when the announcement officially came out.
How many announcements were made? Number 2, please.
Only
How
one.
many announcements were made of the discovery of the Salk vaccine?
To tell you the truth, I really don't know. There were numerous announcements made, but I haven't kept track of how many there were.
Did I understand?
That's it, panel. It's time to vote, if you will, please, without consultation. Mark your ballots, and in so doing, as usual, select number 1, number 2, or number 3. The team of challengers will get $250 for every incorrect vote. Okay, everybody voted?
I'm not really going to vote at all.
All right, Polly, have you voted? For whom did you vote?
I voted for number 2. First of all, he sort of captured me with the Coriopolis Heights, and then he knew that the city across the river was Swickley. And the other, I then leaned toward number 3 because he also knew the Coriopolis Heights number, but he sort of fell apart on a couple of other answers.
On what?
I think.
Okay, Don, your vote, please.
I voted for number 3, Bud, and if I know an answer, I'm not aware of it.
June, which one is the one that you picked?
I voted for number 3 because penicillin was invented by, or discovered rather, by Sir Alexander Fleming, and placebo is not a drug at all. It is just a sort of a sugar substance which is used to pacify the patient and make him think he's taking pills. Especially I voted for number 3 because he said he wasn't a musician, so perhaps I think he really rather fancies himself still as a polio research laboratory man.
Okay, Tom, what about your vote?
I voted for number 3. But, and that's a fact. I'm not sure, but I think I would have voted for number 2. He really did know the answers, I thought, to a lot of questions. But I think I heard him reply to a question of Don's that 2 men on 1 are allowed. Is that true? I was looking down at the time, and didn't he say that? Wasn't it number 2 that
he
said?
didn't. Number 2 answered that.
Yes, number 2
he
said,
did.
That's
yes.
why.
It's not allowed in pro ball, but I think it is allowed in college ball. Is that
No,
right?
I don't think so. I don't.
Well, we can discuss that later as soon as we find out something about these here now votes. That's it.
Well, it doesn't matter, because I'm the only one that voted for him. And I don't know how many are allowed. So.
You're probably the only one that plays
Yes,
football.
particularly.
Okay, let's see now. Which one of these 3 gentlemen is the lab technician turned singer? Will the real Adam Wade please stand up? Thank you very much, Adam. And incidentally, may I say to you, good luck at your engagement at the living room I think you started.
Yes, I did.
When did you open there?
I opened Monday night.
Well, best of good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
Number 1, would you tell us your real name now and what you really do? You stay seated, if you will.
Oh,
You can
thank
be
you.
closer to the mic that way.
I'm Maurice Lewis. I'm a commercial artist and photographer in New York City.
Thank you, sir. And number 3, your real name and what you really do.
I'm Don Ramsey, and I'm a makeup artist.
Short and to the point. Well, gentlemen, let's check over our score here and see how well we did. There were 1, 2, 3 incorrect votes at $250 each for a total of $750 for married. Not bad. And, of course, on your way out, you'll find that there is a year's supply of Rise Instant Lather for each of you. Thanks for playing our game with us. Hope you had a good time.
Thank you.
And best of luck again. Good night. God bless. Now, panel, let's meet our next team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Joan Hunt.
What is your name, please?
My name is Joan Hunt.
What is your name, please?
My name is Joan Hunt.
Panel, will you follow along with your copies of this affidavit? I, Joan Hunt, am a dog breeder. In my kennels, I raise poodles and greyhounds. 60 of my 100 greyhounds are racing dogs. At the opening of the new Flagler dog track in Florida last week, I entered 4 dogs. All of them won. My greyhound, named Secret Session, is a world's record holder. Last year, in 1959, my racing dogs won over $100,000 in prize money. Signed, Joan Hunt. All right, panel, these 3 lovely ladies all claim to be one Joan Hunt, breeder of racing greyhounds. Let's begin this cross-examination with Don Ameche. Don?
Thank you, Bud. Number 1, what is the name of the dog track in Hollywood, Florida?
Hollywood, the Biscayne.
Number 2,
Hollywood Park.
number 2, what's the distance of a sprint race for dogs?
Of a sprint race?
That's right. Number 3,
550 yards.
number 1, what's the distance of a sprint race for a dog?
550.
Number 2, what's the distance of a long race for a dog?
660 yards.
Number 1, what is a Dutch cut?
A Dutch cut?
Yes.
I'm not sure.
Number 2,
June Lockhart.
How many seconds ahead of the race? Oh, number 1. How many seconds ahead of the of the race's start is the rabbit released?
Just a few seconds.
Number 2, please. Same question.
Just a few seconds. It's always kept several seconds ahead of the dogs. However, the dogs have caught it in some races.
Number
It can
3.
happen.
What happens? Do they just lie down when they kick it?
It's the biggest mess you've ever seen.
They appear before a Senate committee.
Oh, I see.
Now, you're talking poor June on all her questions. All right, June, of all the
To investigate illegal rabbit catching.
Tom Poston.
That was my time. Can I have 2 seconds of yours now?
Yes, because
All right,
they already
fair enough.
answered one of my questions.
All right, fine then.
Hurry up, quickly.
Where are greyhounds raced around this country, please? Number 3, excuse me, where are greyhounds raced around this country?
In Florida, Massachusetts, Colorado, California.
Now we have to go to Tom.
Thank you.
Thank you. Number 3, who is Bob Trout?
Bob Trout? I'm afraid I don't know.
Can you tell?
Polly Bergen.
Number 2, what's a caniche?
Well, a caniche is a French-born poodle.
Number 3, what's the height limit for a toy poodle?
10 inches in America.
Number 2, what is a Dutch cut?
Well, a Dutch clip is a clip that keeps the sort of Dutch pants on a poodle, and they're clipped in the back, and they have a full pant leg on
I
all
see. Number
4
3,
legs.
who is Masterpiece?
He was a champion toy gray poodle.
Number 2, what happened to Masterpiece?
Well, he died. He was supposedly kidnapped.
You got too close a Dutch cut. All right, there we have it. Ladies and gentlemen of our panel, if you will, please, without consultation, mark your ballots. And in so doing, vote for number 1, number 2, or number 3. Mark your ballots, if you will, please.
Gee,
Is everyone marked?
no.
Quickly. Quickly. I have to call.
Oh, no, I didn't mean that.
No? Hurry up.
Yeah.
All right. Who did you vote?
Well, gee, it was a close, it's 2 or 3, and I know you won't let me vote for both of them. I know it's one or the other,
So?
which means it'll probably end up being number 1, but if it is, it's a cheat. I think it's number 2. For a minute, she almost floored me when she said Masterpiece died. Then she said he was believed to be kidnapped. I didn't know he died. I thought he was kidnapped. But anyway, it's number 3.
All right, Don?
I voted for number 1 because she answered all Tom Poston's questions properly.
Yeah, thank you.
June Lockhart, which one do you think is the real one?
And who is Bob Trout? I voted for number 3 because number 2 didn't know the length of a sprint race.
Oh, I forgot that.
Well,
And also,
no, she didn't really finish her answer.
she had such a pretty dress on.
That's a good
true.
reason.
That's what I
Tom, which one do you like as the real one?
I voted for number 3. There it is, Bud, because June, voted for number 3, and she's a guest here today, and, and she better be right.
I like good sound reasons.
You think it's Polly thinks it's number 3 now.
Oh, no, I said I did before, and I forgot the
All right, let's find out, shall we? Which one is the real one? Which of these ladies is the real breeder of racing greyhounds? Will the real Joan Hunt please stand up? Thank you very much. Number 1, would you tell us your real name and what you really do, please?
My name is Jean Weaver, and I have 2 children. I'm a housewife from Armonk, New York.
Full schedule for anyone. Number 2, your real name and what you do, please.
My name is Ann Harris, and I'm the secretary here in New York at a men's club.
Thank you. Good score there. In a way, you got 2 and 2. We had 2 for the right one and 2 for wrong ones. Therefore, $250 each. For the incorrect, we have a total of $500. Married, few ladies, we thank you for being with us. Of course, you'll also receive a gift package of all of Carter's fine products. If you had fun, we did. It's a joy having you with us. Good night and good luck to you. Now, panel, let's meet our third team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is William W. Henderson.
What is your name, please?
My name is William W. Henderson.
What is your name, please?
My name is William W. Henderson.
You will follow along with this third affidavit, panel, please. I, Sergeant William W. Henderson, am stationed at the Air Force School of Aviation Medicine, Brooks Air Force Base, as Chief Space Cabin Technician. My job is to test equipment and personnel on simulated space flights. I have participated in several experiments in weightlessness. I also was the subject of a fatigue test which required me to stay in a one-man space cabin for 36 hours without sleep. Last week, another Air Force sergeant and I completed a test in which we were isolated in a small steel tank crammed full of equipment for 14 days. We lived entirely on dehydrated space food. Our test duplicated as nearly as possible the conditions which our future spacemen will encounter on a 2-week round trip to the moon. Signed, Sergeant William W. Henderson. Three stalwart gentlemen this time, panel, all claiming to be Sergeant William Henderson, who participates in Air Force space experiment flights. Comfortably settled, gentlemen? No weightlessness here, so we'll start with Tom Poston.
Thank you, Bud. Number 3, do you know the mascot's name in the comic strip Sky Masters?
No.
Number 1, where was your endurance test held, the 36-hour one?
Randolph Air Force Base.
Number 2, please, where was your endurance test held?
It was at Randolph, San Antonio, Texas.
Number 3, is that correct?
That's correct.
Where was one recent one held where the guy was in a capsule for a while?
Which number?
Number 3, I'm sorry.
Well, there have been several people in capsules. Could you clarify it? There's one up in Lake Michigan.
And what was his chief area of discomfort? Do you remember when he came out of the capsule? Number 3, I'm sorry.
If you're speaking of Donnie Farrell, it was, lonesomeness was his problem.
That's old Johnny, all right. Johnny Farrell every time.
Polly Bergen, please.
I don't think that's funny. I think that's very sad.
I don't think you heard the bell, Tom, but I rang it. I'm sorry
I really do.
Polly.
Number 1, where is the Air Force School of Aviation Medicine?
It's at Brooks Air Force Base at San Antonio, Texas.
San Antonio, Texas. Is that anywhere near Randolph Field?
Oh, it's not too near. It's about 20 miles or
I see.
something like that.
And number 2, I don't know very much about weightlessness, but I saw a show on television the other day when a man was in one of those new kind of fast space kind of ships, and it went out of control as he was going down, and at one point his body weighed so much that he couldn't lift. Could you tell me how much he weighed at that time?
Well, I don't know how much he weighed because I don't know his original weight. But I do know that it was about 5 Gs, which is about the maximum that the body can
What
withstand.
is 5 what?
5 Gs, that's five times his weight, times his weight. That's what it is, the weight of gravity.
Don Ameche.
Would you wait a minute?
Number one, how long have these space experiments been going on?
For a little over 2 years.
Number two, how many men are being trained to go into space?
Well, if you mean the astronauts, there are about 7.
Number three, how long did you sleep after being that fatigue test of 36 hours staying awake?
Just the next day.
Number one, how many hours did you sleep?
Oh, about 6 hours.
Number two.
I slept an ordinary night's sleep.
June?
How far away is the moon? Number one, excuse me, how far away is the moon?
Approximately 176,000 miles.
Number two, how far away is the
I
moon?
think it's closer to 242,000.
Number three, what is the normal heartbeat and pulse?
120.
And the heartbeat is 120? Or
Yes,
the,
ma'am.
I beg your pardon?
Yes, ma'am.
And the pulse?
120, same thing.
Here's
Number
the pulse
one.
right here,
All
telling you
right.
that the game is over and it's time to vote. So will you kindly mark your ballots as before and select as before in your voting number 1, number 2, or number 3. Everybody marked? They're all looking grim on this
I wish
one.
I knew about how far the moon
I don't know anything about heartbeats and pulses, and I was sure. Oh,
Well, I would say that Don Ameche sitting between the two of you, that's probably his heartbeat.
120?
Yes.
Yes, I'd say that's a safe estimate, Bud.
well, I was sure it was number 3 all along. June sort of hesitated when he said 120 heartbeat, and I don't know anything about, feeling heartbeats. So I'm probably wrong, but I still vote for him anyway.
You can take
I
Don's
like
pulse while I'm asking him what his vote is, Don.
I voted for number two because when I was, my last trip to the moon was 242,000 miles.
She didn't ask number 3.
You went the long way. June, what is your vote this time?
Well, I voted for number 1, of course, having not really known how far it is to the moon. They're ringing bells?
No,
again?
it's all right. That's
Oh.
recording your vote. We have bells that have bells on this show.
It's an adulation of the bells. No. And he just seemed to have a great deal of authority about the subject to me, and so I voted for number 1.
Okay, and Tom Poston.
Well, looky here. I didn't know how far away the moon was. I just had to take a guess. You know, regardless of, despite the disparagement there, I enjoyed his answers. Oh, I'm sorry. I enjoyed his answers tremendously. And
Well, isn't
I
there
thought they
any
were all-
chance it could be number 3 at all?
Yeah.
You keep talking about the disparity between the distances on the moon.
Except that
Nobody
the
asked
fellow-
number 3.
Well, the fellow I saw in the newsreel, he complained in the lake, it came out of the lake, he complained that his legs were cramped. He didn't say anything about lonely.
If it is number three, we got to have some new rules for the AMA.
That's right. Yeah, that's
I don't know. I still say sit in between the two of those ladies and it'll be that
Well,
fast.
I think it's rotten
All
that you don't get to
right.
talk to me once in a while.
Let's find out now. Blood pressure and pulse of the country notwithstanding. Which one of these gentlemen is the real one? And to pick out the right one, we think nobody could do it better than the gentleman who spent those 2 weeks with him in the space capsule under simulated conditions. So here is his capsule companion, Air Force Sergeant Hobart Kraft, with a normal heartbeat. Sergeant Kraft, welcome to our show. Would you do us the favor of selecting which one of these is the real Sergeant Henderson? And Sergeant Kraft, may I thank you and congratulate you for the fine job the men are doing out there in the Aviation School of Medicine. It's been a joy to have you with us tonight. All right. Number 2, would you tell us your real name and what you really do, please?
Right. I think my name is Jack Summerfield, Assistant General Manager of Station WGBH in Boston.
Thank you very much. And number 3, your real name and what you do, please.
My name is Jack McCurley. I'm a registered professional engineer working as a constructioneer with George A. Fuller Company, building construction.
Thank you. And in checking the score, we find there were 2 incorrect votes at $250 each for a total of $500 from Arid, and of course, a year's supply of rice instant lather for each of you. Thank you, gentlemen, and safe flying in those space capsules. Good night and good luck. Well, that's all the time we have tonight, except June. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Bud. I enjoyed it very much.
And of all of you panel, good night to you.
Good night.
Good night, Bud.
Bud Collier, on behalf of Arid Cream Deodorant, reminding you to tell the truth. Good night, everybody.